Bohnice, a place where the past lingers in shadows. Nestled in the outskirts of Prague, Czech Republic, it's considered one of the spookiest locations in Europe. Here stands one of the most notorious psychiatric asylums on the continent, steeped in history, where suffering and mystery intertwine, and just beyond lies the abandoned cemetery, where forgotten souls were laid to rest. That's where we're taking you today, to explore the eerie remnants of a hidden world where history and whispers of the unknown still echo in the air.
It was a beautiful summer day, the kind that made you want to linger outside a little longer, feeling the warmth of the sun and the soft breeze. As we stepped onto the grounds of the Bohnice Asylum, it was hard to believe this was a place steeped in such a dark and unsettling history. The air was peaceful, and the area had an unexpectedly calming effect on us. The asylum, still in full operation to this day, felt more like a quiet park than one of the most infamous psychiatric institutions. The wide open spaces, manicured lawns, and tree-lined paths gave no indication of the suffering and sorrow that had unfolded here over the decades. It was surprisingly serene, almost as if the ghosts of the past had decided to rest for the day.
The asylum, now called the Bohnice Psychiatric Hospital, opened in the early 20th century, presumably the year 1909, and was one of the largest psychiatric facilities in Europe at the time. Designed to accommodate the mentally ill, the hospital was built with progressive intentions for its time, offering open spaces and a serene environment in hopes of improving patient care. However, despite its grand design, the asylum's history became tainted by darker chapters.
No! God, please, no! No!
its early years, Bohunice was seen as a place of hope for the mentally ill. But the asylum also became notorious for some of the harsh treatments used on patients. Like many psychiatric hospitals in the early 20th century, Bohunice employed now outdated and sometimes barbaric methods to cure mental illness.
Electroshock therapy was common and often applied without anesthesia, leading to violent convulsions and long-term trauma. Certain forms of this type of treatment are still being used to this day. Hydrotherapy, where patients were confined to bathtubs for hours, sometimes in freezing or scalding water, was another practice intended to calm agitated minds. Some patients were restrained for long periods, while others were subjected to experimental treatments with little understanding of the consequences.
Perhaps one of the most grim aspects of its history was the use of lobotomies, surgical procedures that involved cutting into the brain, which left many patients permanently impaired. These treatments, meant to subdue aggressive or non-compliant individuals, often caused irreversible damage or death. The line between care and cruelty became increasingly blurred as patients were essentially turned into subjects for experimentation.
The asylum's history holds more than its fair share of chilling stories. But what about today? Is there a dark, unsettling aura still lingering here? Have things really changed, or do these grounds still carry echoes of their troubled past? That's what we've come to find out.
Zajímavý detail je, že tu bohnickou léčebnu stavěl stejný architekt jako budovu vlády Strakovy akademie.
Despite the beautiful exterior and the seemingly cheerful and welcoming atmosphere, troubling events have still occurred within the asylum's recent history. The testimonies of former patients and their families reveal a starkly different reality than what the facade suggests.
There have even been cases of people meeting violent ends here, like the man whose body was discovered near the maintenance building in 2017, with a fatal gunshot wound. Since the asylum grounds are freely accessible to the public, it's difficult to determine whether these deaths are truly linked to the asylum itself or are merely tragic coincidences. Nevertheless, they do nothing to improve the institution's already troubled reputation.
Even more disturbing are cases involving actual patients. As recently as 2023, a patient receiving treatment for addiction attempted to break out, threatening nurses and other staff with a broken table leg and a fire extinguisher. When the police arrived, the situation escalated and he was restrained with a taser and choked until he died. Then there was a 30-year-old Vera Musilova who in 2006 tragically choked on her own feces while confined in one of the asylum's notorious cage beds, designed to restrain patients considered dangerous. With only staff and perhaps other patients present, it's nearly impossible to know what really happened. Was it a tragic accident, a grievous error, or something even more sinister?
Escapes have also haunted the asylum's legacy, with some patients breaking free and wreaking havoc beyond its walls. One shocking case in 1983 involved a patient who, while still confined, managed to slip out of the asylum several times, committing murders in the city before casually returning to his ward to maintain an alibi.
And the unsettling accounts don't end there. Numerous patients have shared harrowing testimonies describing the unbearable conditions they endured after being admitted to the asylum.
A když jste byl venku? Jak mám jen nutěný? Říkaj. On je přepitej.
Spal 5 dál, tak si spolkal.
A když jsme spolkali, tak co se děje?
Prostě přijdou 4 gorily, ty mě tam přidržej a pichnou mi stejně, takže tomu se nevyhnu.
A víš ty, že máš právo nesouhlasit s tou léčbou? Víš to, že nemusíš chtít dostat injekci?
To vůbec nic takového nevím. Tam se na někoho se ptají, tam prostě máte injekci v zadku a hotovo.
Hnedka na začátku mi řekli, že buď vypiju nějaký lék, nebo že mi to dají formou injekce. Takže mi bylo jasné, že tu injekci pod nátlakem mi stejně dají, když budou chtít, tak jsem to radši vypila.
A víš, co to bylo?
Nevím.
The Bonnice Asylum has a complex legacy, one filled with chilling stories of mistreatment, tragic accidents, and occasional violence. It is also a place where countless individuals have found help from their addictions and mental illnesses, with staff members working tirelessly to support patients, some of whom are dangerous and unpredictable.
So, where does that leave us? Is Bohnice a dark institution that preys on the vulnerable, or is it a sanctuary striving to heal the wounds of society's most troubled individuals? We will leave that for you to decide. For us, after hours spent uncovering the mysteries of this notorious place, it's time to move on. Our journey isn't over yet. Another destination awaits, one that may hold an even deeper, more menacing presence than the asylum itself. It's time to head out.
Nevím, k čemu to je. Myslím, že ten člověk je držený pod zámkem nějakou dobu a pak ho pustí ven a to je celý. Asi kdybych se tam měla vrátit, tak to bych se dost bála.